Welcome to Tracking the Wolves. This week we have our head football coach, Tom Dosch. Coach, we're halfway through the season now, a little bit past halfway, and coming off a big win at Minot last week. Can you talk a little bit about where you're at mid-season and then last week's game?
Sure. Yeah, hard to believe we're over halfway down with the season already. It really goes by fast once you get rolling with it. And obviously, I would say our biggest thing, Josh, is just getting our team to play more consistent football. And that's probably been the frustration we've had as coaches and players, and that's probably what every coach in America will tell you. You want your team to play a four-quarter game. We haven't done that yet. We did play better, more consistently throughout the game up at Minot on Saturday. Did some things better than we had the weeks before, and that's really what we're really shooting to do right now, is keep getting better every week, and again, just be more consistent, and instead of having lapses where we play well and then have a play or two or a series or two or a quarter where we don't play well, and then you're kind of getting in scramble mode. So we really talked about the process and just continuing with the process of getting better and playing good football for 4 quarters. That's what we're shooting for.
Now let's focus on last week's game in particular, where kind of a back and forth game, kind of I don't know what you call it, but maybe just grinding the entire game, and then at the end come up with a big drive to close out the game, and then 2-point conversion to go for it there. What was that thought process? What did you tell the team once they score with a minute plus left, and here's what we're up against?
Yeah, and we had been. It was an interesting half because they hadn't done really much of anything on offense the whole second half, and we had kind of a bad punt and got them on a short field and blew a couple coverages. So you really play our best defensive game of the year up to that point, and then give them a touchdown right at the end, and they went for 2 to go up by 7. So, we hadn't really sustained a drive in the second half since the opening drive of the third quarter. So we, to our guys' credit, they had the mindset was we're going to find a way to get it down the field. Jared made a couple big throws, one to John Hughes on a 3rd and 10 that got us, I think, 19 yards. And then John made a good play there, getting out of some traffic. And then Chris Malsom on a 4th and 10 was a huge play, too, for 29 yards, which got us down to the 4-yard line. So it was good to see Jared make some plays, good to see other guys make plays. Our offensive line did a great job really the whole game in the run game and pass protection. That last drive, nobody was really around Jared at all. And so they were only bringing 3 and 4 guys, but Jared had all sorts of time. He was able to scramble around and find some receivers, and then got in and punched it in with 4 seconds left. We threw a play action pass to Mike Alberts, who's our short yardage fullback and or tight end. And then we earlier in the drive, we had decided to go for 2. Actually, Coach Martin and I talked at the beginning of the drive that we were going to, if we get down there, we're going to go for 2, go for the win. We really needed to win a football game. That's what we were in. And you could. One of my friends said, well, you can win in overtime too, and you can, but you get 2.5 yards to basically win the game. And we're getting a little banged up. We got a little bit beat up in this defensive backfield. So the longer the game goes, if you got a few guys injured, it probably hurts your odds of winning a little bit. So we decided we're going to go for it. And really, I'd like to play. We had talked earlier that day and earlier on the drive. Coach Martin and I had discussed the play we had called. I really liked it. It was a pass-run option for Jared, which in that situation is really a good play. Sometimes if you just throwing up to the corner of the end zone, you throw a jump ball up or something, you're kind of rolling the dice a little bit. But in a situation like that, you got 2.5 yards, and Minot did a good job covering our guys on the route, and Jared just tucked it up and took it in. And obviously once he gets going downhill, unless you get a straight shot on him, he's going to be able to usually fall forward and get some yards. And Jared's a strong, powerful guy. Doesn't look or run like a quarterback really, and he was able to do that. So at that stage of the game, we just felt we got a chance to win this thing on the road. Let's go ahead and do it. And of course, it always looks like a good decision when you make it. If you don't make it, it doesn't look as good. So It's hindsight 2020. But there was really no doubt. There was no discussion about it. It was a no-brainer. We said we're going for the win, and our guys that pulled it out. It was great to see Jared make a couple plays down the stretch, especially the one and the 2-point play.
What was the locker room like after that game? Again, going through a tough stretch the last couple of weeks here, and finally getting over the hurdle and getting that done.
Yeah, probably really excited, obviously, especially the way we won the game. But there's probably a little relief there because it kind of builds on you as a player and as a coach. As if you aren't winning football and having chances to win games, which we really have in 6 of our games, we've had a chance at the last drive or the last series, last play. You're down to. We've had a chance to win 5 of them, and we won a couple, and we've lost a few of them too. So probably a little relief there. Just like I said, we needed a win. Our players and coaches, and just everybody involved in our program needed to win a game, and just get guys more relaxed, see more guys smiling, bus rides home, all that stuff is a lot more enjoyable, obviously. When you win and winning one on the road, coming from behind on the road is not an easy thing to do. It doesn't matter who you're playing, and our guys found a way to do that. So that was exciting, and just good to see guys having fun again. I mean, because it hasn't been the effort or anything like that. Our guys have really played hard and tried hard. We just didn't execute well there for a while, and it's good to see us execute and play winning football when we had a chance.
Let's shift to this week, Bemidji State. Bemidji's been a very tough opponent the last couple of years. You know, they've been kind of towards the top of the North. This year they're probably similar to us, where they're battling each game and come up in the short end a few games. What do you see this week with Bemidji?
Well, they're a real physical football team. Offensively, that's what they want to do. They've got running back Avery Walker, who's really, honestly, probably as good a back as we've seen. He's a shifty. He can turn it on and run away from you, but he can make you miss, and he's strong enough to run through tackles. Really a good player, and then the offensive line is huge. It's 320, 30 pounds, like a lot of the ones we played against. Fullback's a guy they play a lot, you know. So new quarterback, although he's a fifth-year senior, and then they've got some new receivers too. So they got some new faces and mixed in with a couple veterans, and again a really talented tailback. And then their defense has really, I think, carried them and really been what they've kind of had. That's been their stamp the last few years, as they've won 7-8 games about every year now. It seems like for 4 or 5 years in a row is their defense has played well and they've run the football well, and their defense is physical and they've had a lot of continuity. Their head coach Jeff Tesh and their defensive coordinator Richie Honor are both, I think, in their 18th year in the program, so you can tell that their system is in place and they put tweaks on it and everything. But yeah, it's like our league. When you look at the scores in our league right now, it's just really a balanced league. It's you're exactly right. They've had a lot of games just like us where they've lost them at the end. They've won a couple at the end, and it's really kind of dogfights every week. It seems like in our conference, and there appears to be 2 or 3 teams that are maybe record-wise and everything above everybody else. But then you look at the games last week, they were in some close. A couple of those teams were in close games too. So it's good. I mean, competition makes you better. You know, you aren't going to have any weeks off, and you know you're going to have good opponents. And Bemidji's really been a quality opponent the last several years, and will be again this weekend. So it should be a fun game.
What are some of the promotions this week? We have Military Appreciation Day. And then talk a little bit about what you guys do each year.
Yeah, we do in October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We do a pink out that we have, and you see that a lot on TV, NFL and college games and stuff. That guys do it, and we've always done that. But we also do it where we actually have the guys get a sponsor, or they sponsor themselves a certain amount of money to wear pink tape or wear pink, and then we find a family that's been affected directly by breast cancer and get the money to that person and their family. What we try and do is just get it to, if possible, and we've got been able to do that the last couple of years, get it to somebody that's going to have a direct benefit to them as a result, as opposed to giving it maybe to an organization and you're not 100% sure where it always ends up. We try and get it directly to a person that's going to be able to use it and who's either been through breast cancer or is currently going through breast cancer. So yeah, we do that in addition to the Military Appreciation Day. So it should be a lot of fun out at Swisher Field. I think it's going to be done raining by then, so it should be a nice day.
Well, good. This Saturday we have 3 home games left. This is our first of that three-game stretch here. October 19th, 2:30 p.m. this Saturday. And again, it'll be Military Appreciation Day along with a Think Pink Breast Cancer Awareness Day for the football team. So put off hunting for another week.
Yeah,
right? You can always hunt later or for a few hours. Right.
Hunt in the morning.
I know it's pheasant opener this week.
They'll still be
there.
Right. The pheasants will still be there.
They will still be there. So get out and support your Wolves. Should be a good week for Wolves football. And we'll see you next week. Go Wolves.
I love learning.
I believe in service. I am full of passion. I embody sportsmanship.
I trust in my resourcefulness.
I like balance.
That's why I chose
Division II.
Welcome back, guys. Now let's get to some events coming up this weekend. The NSU soccer team will continue the homestand next weekend as they take on the University of Sioux Falls and Southwest Minnesota State. Saturday at 12 p.m. will be against USF, and Sunday at 1 will be against Southwest Minnesota. Northern Volleyball also hits the road this weekend to take on St. Cloud and Minnesota Duluth. The football team will return home this weekend to face another Beavers team in Bemidji State at 2:30 at Swisher Field. The cross-country team will be off this weekend as they prepare for the NSIC Championship held October 26 in Sioux Falls. The swim team will have about a month until they are back in the pool for competition as they travel to Sioux City, Iowa to take on Morningside College and Minnesota Morris in a 2-day doubleheader duel November 1st and 2nd. Well, that's all we have this week. We want to thank Coach Tom Dosch for interviewing with us today, and stay classy, Northern Wild Wolves.